I call this basically the lie of Mauritius, part 3, you would say. Alright? Sehr basically, in Japan, for example, it is not just allowed, but, very noble, you would say, to basically do something like this, after eating, as a sign of that it was basically tasting good. Okay, but this is the lie of sound Mauritius, okay, because we need some information also. I can just put the website under the museum, and also the basically this building, which is basically a church. I just can't put the website under there and be like, oh no, you have to grab your information, this and that. No, man, I want to show you something from this website that I actually posted, of course, how you can find information, especially when it's about Germany's so-called Themen according to the Bible. The lie of Saint Maurice, okay, Saint Maurice, Mauritius. Basically, you can say Maurice or Maurice or whatever also. And this is actually really, really long. So of course we can't read everything, okay. So you of course have to, even if you're interested in some other things, read basically where you want to read, alright, because this is really much, man, alright, and we don't want to, overdo basically things, alright. Scripture's talking about make thyself not overly wise and be not over righteous, right? And that means basically that, give the people the correct doctrine, okay, but don't try to be over righteous when it comes to, talking like you're wise or something. No, man, alright? We try to keep it short, but that people have still interest in what I'm talking about, alright? If I do a 3-hour lesson here, most likely, okay, not so much, okay, especially when it's about Jake, will basically stay in the mind of the listeners, right? But let's start, man. This page is meant as an addendum to the Black Holy Roman Empire section. So what you have to know if you are on realhistory www.com. This guy who spent his whole life on creating this website was basically all about the albinos, okay, because if you read more of this website, you will see that he is talking not just very often, but basically every time about albinos and about a so-called mixed seed, okay, which is not possible according to the Bible first and foremost, but also not according to science. Alright, so really what he is doing, he is basically a little bit more clever to dirt Jake. I don't say that he is a do dirt, I don't even know him. Okay, maybe he can be even that he is in GMS right now, but I don't think so. But you know what I mean, okay? But he clearly has also a lack of knowledge, because it's not about albinos, it's about Esau Edom, who can appear also, of course, as albinos, but albinos in the first place are not Esau Edom. Let's say you have one Israelite family and there comes out an albino. Yahweh doesn't directly say that albinos are cursed. You can, say like, okay, they are cursed because they actually born without melanin when they should have melanin, but it's not like, like the Africans, the Hamites, because we are not Africans, we are Israelites. We hunt them or think that they are, somehow cursed, and we have to kill them and this and that, like the Hamites do in Africa. Okay, it's more like you could say that they are cursed, but only and because of the melanin, okay? Not because they are not the same seed as their brothers who would appear as a so-called black people. And I made a lesson even in the German tongue about it, alright? This page is meant as an, you have to go by the scriptures, right? And then it's the Black Holy Roman Empire section, and the museum and the church that I was visiting, okay, is basically the most interesting, okay, place where you want to be if we talk about the Dark Ages, basically, That's why the brothers from the GMS Germany camp basically were helping me, right? Even when I was alone there, right? This page is meant, and I bought for the brothers like some postcards. I really wanted to buy something, straight out of Magdeburg, because it was really an experience, man. Okay, I showed them photos which I didn't post it on YouTube, this and that, but basically it was an experience, like it was basically you were in the Dark Ages, man. You saw Saint Mauritius, man. Now you know the Dark Ages, because this Saint Mauritius, okay, is basically pushed here in T, man, all over the place, man, and they can't even hide it. Like I said in the first part, I believe. Yeah, it's the first part. Alright, I don't even know if they just can't hide it, because there are so many pictures, statues, and stories and whatever relics of him. Or they just want to put some truth in the lie, so it would be a better lie. Okay, as I said. But here you have the truth, basically. Besides that, albino, which is not biblical at all stuff. But it can be, albinos, this and that, Of course, they had a great part in the the deception and all the other things, which came only to our negative, which we had to, which we can only receive as a negative thing to the elect, but real to all Israelites, alright? But I was reading more of his website, and basically things that you see right there are more than just talking about the albinos for what they are, alright? So basically he appears even in some cases like a Hamite, but we can't say it to the fullest. So this is basically a website which we can declare as basically, an information site where you have to pick out Salahia, the flesh, and you have to leave them bones out, right? Like like we used to do it when we read Esau's article, for example. Okay, just different skin color people, but basically the same heathens, right? This page is meant as in the empire and its black people are long gone in Europe anyway. Okay, so we talk about Europe. You should have know that from the start, because this is basically only further information on part 1, 2, or part 1.5, okay, and 2. So this is part 3, right? In Europe anyway. The following is about the many ways the albino people hide and obfuscate their existence. Okay, the nonsense stories of Saint Maurice and the ambassador visitors from Congo, or Congo, Congo and Congo. And if you see albinos today, they most likely, are, with their brothers, who most likely look like so-called Negroes. Okay, so they don't, they are not into this Hamite stuff, and, okay, that's why I made a lesson about it, because really, this is one thing what you can leave at the two dirts, even when they're wicked and they have to be destroyed for their better or for their best. and they don't see albinos like the Hamites in Africa, not of course in the Bantu Africa, but in Africa, like they see it. They just accept them as they are, as people without melanin, but to the spirit, they're the same to the Israelites. Let me say it like that. I saw many, man. Also very I was also very on a trencher or something, in Germany. So I came a lot around certain towns, this and that, and I saw many people. Okay, and this was just what I can say about it. And also the internet, of course. The following is about the many ways the albino people hide and obfuscate their existence. The nonsense stories of Saint Maurice, the ambassador visitors from Congo, Africa, the albino people's chief ways to hide and obfuscate the reality of black European royals, nobles and knights during the medieval period. In the case of Saint Maurice, the problem for the albino people is to explain why almost every cathedral, church and monastery in Germany and related areas has at least one statue, a bust of a black man in noble garb. To explain these black nobles and houses of religion, the albino people created the mythical Saint Maurice, who was supposed to be a patron saint of the Holy Roman Empire, which encompassed modern Germany until 1806. Of course, there is no authentic evidence of their claim. Okay, so this guy here is definitely not, I have to pick and choose the words what I use, okay, because really all two dirt are basically living in a cave, let me say it like that. But he is not so, this and that caveman at all, alright? So, but it is true what he said, because it's not just Magdeburg, which is this church what I showed you, so-called, and this museum what I showed you. It's more, it's more than that, right? But this is the main Dark Ages proof what we have in Teman, and they are the wisest of Edom. Esau is Edom, Esau is red, Edom is red, right? So they make sure to hide everything which shows proof of, the existence of, like he calls it, so-called black nobles and knights and royals and so on. Okay, if he really would understand what royal people would do and what royal people are, he would be in the truth, basically stalling with the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Alright, because he has to be clever, and he has to be real royal to understand what this life means compares to the next world time. Let me say it like that. Okay, if people talk about world, okay, this is Esau's world, I would say more like this is Esau's world time, because the kingdom will start here. Okay, but enough said. Alright. Kal Tawada, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Okay, we read real quick. Okay, further on this article. Okay, and maybe we will do some like about 2, 3, 4 lessons, because I really like to talk with you about this stuff, kinda like, because I'm actually really into the Dark Ages a little bit, watching movies and this and that, where I can basically learn more about, the royal people in this time, right? Yeah, we will do something a little bit more, okay? And we will, of course, in every video put at least some, like 1 or 2 scriptures out, right? Can, To explain these black nobles and houses of religion, this albino people created the mythical Saint Maurice, who was supposed to be patron saint of the Holy Roman Empire, which encompassed northern Germany until 1806, or how you say. Of course, there is no authentic evidence of the claim, but not surprisingly, there is great evidence that medieval blacks did not allow albinos to be knights. Okay, so what I told you in the first part is that if you want to be a knight, it's not just being good in fight like they show it in these Greek the fuck movies, Salachia. it's more like you had to be noble, alright, in the Dark Ages, alright, especially when you talk about the Israelites being in worship, alright. Which they are not really Israelites, because they wouldn't fall according to prophecy if they would be according to the commandments in their behavior and in their basically will, to keep them. They maybe were eating swine's flesh, okay, and this and that, maybe not even all, but some, and that is still enough to judge the whole nation according to Yahweh Baal Shem Yahushua. This assertion is supported by the fact that there are no authentic images, or very few, if any, authentic images of white knights. So-called white because they're really red according to the Bible, according to science, and according to the Hebrew, which was the first language on earth. Even in cases like below, which appears to show a pink dude of Lancaster, but the fact is that owing to the destruction of 97% of Britain's artifacts by Thomas Cromwell, the British library has British people are very demonic, okay? I watched a series last time, okay, where the brothers from the GMS Germany camp already said, like, the English people are very demonic, right? And that's no coincidence, because I watched a series where I had basically the proof of it, I told the brothers about it, so, and I even told the brothers what the series is, okay, and you clearly see there, man, okay, heavy demonic, these people out of England, man, heavy demonic, man, especially in the so-called Renaissance. And guess what, that series was about two people, first and foremost, basically surviving on an island, and there came this and that people from from England, basically from the Renaissance time, to basically make war with them, but one from the island was from England also, and it was kind of like heavy, because they wanted to steal his inheritance, okay, from the person who was on the island trying to survive, because he was in the first place kind of like deceived to the Edomites, the other Edomites, okay, but maybe they were both Israelites, I believe so. You had one who looked like a Hamite, but he was an Israelite. And he had the swag basically, and both had the swag, so basically I believe both were basically Israelites, and they had to survive on this island, this and that. If you want the name of the movie, just write it in the comments, okay, and it was about 12 episodes, and yeah, it was the best series what I saw basically, in Amazon Prime, that's just what I can say. It shows you really the demonic behavior and demonic time of the Renaissance. What is basically the time, okay, where Satan came out of the prison after 1,000 years to deceive the nations, okay, and to the Israelites, and, okay, to basically end this Dark Ages of a warrior people, which are the Israelites, basically all of them, and now it's about the 2 dirt and the 1 dirt, right? Okay, let's continue. Cromwell, the British library has thousands of fake, aged looking illuminated manuscripts. There's no way for us to tell which are real, if any, and which are fake. The fact that the race of the depicted knights is so ambitious strongly suggests that the manuscript is a fake. Click here for the full knights of the Garter. Maybe for the next lesson, we will see. Here you have one picture, full page miniatures of King Edward III and Henry, Duke of Lancaster, of the Order of the Garter, each wearing a blue Garter mantle over plate armor and sword displaying his arms. Okay, and if you are there in this museum or you see these Dark Ages pictures, it's something different if you stand there in the museum and you see something, something which is basically from Easter, man. He put the statue there up from Saint Mauritius, man. And if I see these pictures now, especially from this site, which is realhistory.www.com. Okay, and he really has many pictures of the Dark Ages, okay, with a good text to it, alright, to say like that. And he really doesn't really puts that albino stuff in his picture texts, alright. Maybe because he can also come to the conclusion that a picture says a lot and he doesn't has to talk about the albino stuff too much. But he does, and you clearly have other feeling when you see these pictures and you went to a museum, which clearly basically proves that Timon was ruled by Israelites and these people are cave monkeys. Okay? And just say like that. Who is responsible? Okay, let me guess, man, he's talking about albinos, but we will see. Before going on to explain a way that which by common sense should not require explaining, one might wonder how we have come to find ourselves in this ridiculous position in the first place. Well, we had lots of help from our unscrupulous people with respected titles who we trusted to tell us the truth. Okay, and these respected titles is basically what Elder Apostle Tahort, the Levite he is, that basically in the schools what you learn is basically just SHIT, okay? But really so that you even think, as a true Israelite or heathen, okay, that you actually learned something, okay? We see this, okay, the hopeful elect as something for what it is, That's just a fact. So of course, you don't need it, but you may need it if you want it, if you want to receive a certain job or something, but you have to think about a job that gives you the money what you need to survive, and a job what is basically more than that. You always have to choose that which is better for your soul salvation, okay? Not like we want to be over righteous, this and that, If you have to work on the Sabbath, watch the lesson, GMS, from the elders or something, okay, they talked about it, right? We're not saying that, you're wicked because you're working on the Sabbath, even when it's more than for a certain, kind of like little time, okay? But you have to decide if it's really necessary, and also, because we're in our captivity, how long you want to do this and why you want to do this, okay? And how long you want to do this, when you have the reason why you want to do this, okay? And, I'm not an elder, okay? So you have to watch it if you want to know more about that. Okay, so of course you have to take the Sabbath. You have to keep the Sabbath Salahia. Well, we had lots of help from unscrupulous people with respected titles who we trusted to tell us the truth, but who, apparently for love of money, at least in the case of Gates, though some might say self-loathing, lied to us in the most barefaced ways. Okay, so basically, if you read about the wickedness of all the people will increase, not of the hopeful elect, because we have to be, even more careful about being in the truth, right? But if you read about it, it basically tells you that it is because of lust. And what is lust? It's something like this, right? So this last sentences here are really true, because it's just because of lust being in, let me say it like that, rulership, okay? Pretending to, if you go to Amalek, being the Jews themselves, okay? Pretending that they are not cavemen, but real civilized people, okay? This and that, okay? So there are many reasons for, especially Esau Edom, the red man, the most profane man on earth, cursed forever. Read Obadiah, and read everything else basically in the Bible, so you will know. Okay, so of course this is not some stupid shit what this guy here is writing, right? And this is even a book about the statue, which I didn't saw in the museum. It's not because I wasn't in the possibility to see it. It's more because this statue, they put it out from the church, and maybe they destroyed it even, because if you believe me or not, they are still working on deceiving the people by putting the relics of the so-called Dark Ages away, or destroying them, or changing them into so-called white persons. Alright? Christians in Black, John DeVries, translated, blah, blah, blah. Now we revealed the underlined text here. For 5 or 6 centuries, Western man had no direct contact with men of other colors to force him to consider the concrete question of their humanity and their spiritual vocation. Okay, you're clearly seeing that this place where we are is hell, and not just that, it's wicked, of course. And if you want to really know what life is, okay, you have to make it out of that disinformation, which is a lack of knowledge happening to 2/3 of Israel. Okay, and with that, for this video, we will close it out. Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Rukakudash. Okay, and Kal Tawada, La Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, which means basically all thanks to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Rukakudash, to the Holy Spirit, the Waka. Okay, Waka means spirit, and the Kodash is the Holy Spirit, right? Kodash, Holy Spirit. Okay, you say the Hebrew, what you say it in English, the adjective. Okay, basically behind the nominative. Alright, so you would say like the Waka Kodash. Okay, so basically the Holy, or the Spirit Holy is the Lachya. Okay, so with that, Shalom.